Good evening, everybody. My name is Richard Del Toro, Sheriff of St. Lucie County. Just want to provide an update to the shooting earlier that left one person dead. Again, we responded around 12:19 this afternoon to the area of Edwards Road and 23rd Street regarding a shooting activity. As a deputy pulled up, a sergeant noticed a vehicle. He's being waved down by some witnesses over by Nichols and Edwards. Followed a vehicle that went into a ditch. Someone took off running from that vehicle. He took that person into custody without incident. Other deputies arrived. We found a black male deceased. He's been identified as Edson Sinatus, born in 1997, on the side of the road. We took multiple people into custody. A total of 5 people were taken into custody during this incident. And our detectives and patrol deputies were actively working the scene earlier today. Those 5 people are now at the sheriff's office, being spoken to. We've gathered some video footage of the incident. It appears that 2 vehicles pulled up just south of Edwards Road on 23rd Street. One was a Dodge, appeared to be a Dodge Durango, and a small compact vehicle that was later found on Nichols Street just down the road from here. Appears the subjects got out of the vehicle, exchanged gunfire at one point. Small vehicle took off southbound on 23rd before coming back, basically northbound on 23rd to leave the area where our sergeant picked him up, and the other witnesses saw him turn onto Nichols. That vehicle was shot at multiple times as it fled the area. So there was a large exchange of gunfire during this incident that left that one person dead. There is no more threat to the community. Everybody, we believe, is in custody at this point right now, and we are actively working this case as a homicide as it stands right now.
So the gunfire was strictly between both parties in the vehicles, not like from stemming from a house?
From right now, it started from the vehicles, and there were several parties that were involved in this incident that were taken into custody after the fact.
So 6 people total, 5 of them taken into custody, and
yes, one deceased, correct.
But do you think that the house here had any kind of connection?
Yes, I do. I think this is where one of the people lived that had a prior incident with the person that is deceased. So the victim that is deceased right now had a prior incident with the person that they exchanged gunfire with that lived here at this residence that was in the Durango earlier. So the house did play a part, and the location was specific to that.
Have you been able to determine who the aggressor was, which side?
We're still looking at even more video, getting more evidence right now. So this is all preliminary information. But the main point is to get out to the community that, you know, we believe everyone that was responsible and involved in this incident is in custody, and we are looking into this further.
You guys have a lot of shooting scenes. This seems to be a very large response for a shooting of one person. Why is that?
Well, we had multiple crime scenes. You got to remember, we had where the shooting took place, and it was multiple gunshots. We had the vehicle flee that was shot at, that was abandoned a couple streets over. We then had a foot chase with our dog where a suspect ended up getting tasered during that foot chase. So we had a lot of stuff going on. Our aviation unit was involved, our canine unit was involved. We had multiple deputies here on scene. I mean, it's a high-profile incident, and it really demanded that level of response.
If you didn't have that level of response, would you have figured this out as quickly as you did?
It probably would have took a little bit more time. But nowadays, with the technology the way it is, you know, between cameras and different investigative techniques that we have, it probably would have took a little bit longer. But when you have an incident like this at the sheriff's office, it's all hands on deck. I mean, everybody was out here, our command staff, our detective bureau, our special investigations division. So I'm real proud of the response. I think everyone just did a tremendous job, you know, keeping the community safe and hopefully getting this resolved in a real short time.
Is it too soon to know how many shots were fired between the 2 cars?
I'd be speculating right now. I want to say upwards to 10 or more rounds were exchanged. I mean, it was like the OK Corral, watching the video.
Did any bullets go into any other houses or anything like that?
We're going to be looking into all that, the trajectory and all those different things. So there's multiple shell casings. The vehicle that was fleeing the scene was shot up pretty good as it fled. So we're going to be looking into all that.
Are you able to say what the original dispute was about that led them here today?
They just had a prior dispute stemming from a couple years ago. I didn't get to read the report or what it was all about, but obviously they've had a beef for quite a while, and unfortunately escalated to this today.
So do you think, like, just so I'm clear, that the vehicle that was associated with this house, you think was like perhaps followed by this second?
Don't know that. Yeah, I'm not sure.
But the Durango is associated with the house, I guess?
I don't believe I think the Durango just belongs to a friend and just happened to be here with that person that lived at the house here.
Okay.
Showed up here.
Do we know what type of guns were used yet?
I do not know that.
Where did you find that fifth person that's now in custody?
I believe they found him east of Edwards. That was part of that dog track that happened earlier. I can't remember the name of the street off the top of my head, but as I was showing up on scene earlier today, they had taken him into custody. And so that was part of that whole dog tracking that was going on earlier, but it was already had been resolved. So
you've had all 5 in custody for quite some time.
yes.
There was 2 taken into custody a little later on. Were they involved in that?
Whoever was taken into custody, we believe to be involved, yeah.
But no charges yet, correct?
No, we're state attorneys actively, they're at the sheriff's office right now. Again, we have a lot of stuff to go through. We want to make sure, we dot the I's, cross the T's, review all the evidence. Obviously, we got to talk to the people that were involved, just see exactly what the dispute was about. Why the victim came here to the house. That's going to have to be looked into. So we got a lot of work to do still.
But again, it was the victim, the deceased, had a prior beef or dispute with the individual that lives in the house.
Correct.
Okay. Can you spell the name of the deceased?
No. I'll get it for you at the end. Yeah.
You also said multiple vehicles were involved. Is that some of the vehicles that might
2 vehicles involved.
Just 2?
Yeah.
Okay, so were any pedestrian vehicles affected?
Not that I know of. We didn't get any reports of that.
So these 2 cars.
Correct. Good?
Sheriff, thank you.
Thank you.